So one of the biggest questions that I get in processing my C-Star data is why would you spend $400 or $500 on processing software to process from a C-Star? And really, you got to look at my whole adventure. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've done all of the big rigs, Nina, all that kind of stuff. I've settled on a couple of C-Stars at Starfront, and I get amazing pictures. I always say I get 80% of the results at 20% of the price. And when it comes to City Astro Suite Pro, we are now getting almost 100% at $0. I should say 5 because we are using the Sycon 90A star removal model. So today we are going to process in SETI Astro Suite Pro. My name is Chad. This is the Easy Astro Images channel. We're going to play with some photons today. Big shout out to all of my channel members and supporters, and all of you guys buy me a coffee. If you want to support us, you can click on one of the links down below. We would love to have you. If you get value out of this today, hopefully I can earn your trust. So let's take a look at, everybody is kind of doing the Rosetta right now. So let's do the Rosetta, and I'm not going to cheat and do a Rosetta from my S30PRO. We'll go all the way back to the actual, we are going to do the one that we did at Starfront, which some of you might say, well, that's cheating in itself, but it is the S30, and the S30, the sensor and stuff is definitely not as good as the new S30PRO with the 585. I've done both of these. They equal out about the same. So here is our image in SETI Astro Suite Pro. You can see I have all of my stuff set up inside of here, and I've got everything, the desktop icons all ready to go, all that stuff. I've got my views tab over here. I've got my layers tab down here. Oh, and by the way, I am doing all of this on my $550, $600 Mac Mini, base model Mac Mini, just so that way you can see that how well this runs. Now, stacking is a challenge. I would probably still recommend that you stack inside of Serial using like a one processing type of script that like Nastromany has. It just works really easy, and it seems to be a little less resource intensive, but you can see that we're topping out on some stuff here. We're not going to be able to take advantage of any of the cool GPU accelerations or stuff that Frank has built into this, but we really don't need it. Most processes, even though I'll cut them out, are going to be between 30 and like 90 seconds at the most. So this is what we're looking at here. So this was actually a 2-panel mosaic that was stitched together inside of Photoshop. And let's go ahead and start doing this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to remove the pedestal on that. Don't see much of a difference there. And then we are going to plate solve the image, so that way we can do our little astrometric solution color calibration thingy. Image is all plate solved. We are going to just do a quick background neutralization. We are going to click the little find my background, which it did. We'll apply the neutralization. That is done. And then we will do a color calibration on this. Takes a little bit of a second to load with the beach ball because it's loading in all the stars and stuff. Again, like on my Windows machine, this stuff runs super duper smooth. We got everything all set up that we need to do. We are going to get the stars from the current view. Again, this will take a little time because it's got to reach out. And that wasn't bad. We're going to run the color calibration. And that is all done. And we will close it. And you can see that we've got some like green looking stars and all that. Don't worry, just trust the process. And then we are going to be doing some aberration correction only. So we will go ahead and run that. And that's just going to collect our little aberrations and stuff that are in our image and Ricardo's newest model. All right, so we've got that all done. And at this point, we are ready to stretch. And I know you're saying, wait, Chad, you didn't do any denoising or any sharpening or any stuff like that. Yeah, that's right. I didn't. My workflow has completely changed as far as like what we're doing, and I'm getting the best results ever. So let's take a preview of this and see what we're looking at here. We're not looking to make a perfect picture. So let's go ahead and just kind of turn this down a little bit here and check our preview. We'll do a little bit of HDR and some curves boost and preview that again and apply. And that looks good right there. So now we are in that non-linear state that everybody talks about. We have stretched everything and we are pretty much ready to go. So let's run a little bit of cosmic clarity now. And, you know, don't go crazy with this stuff. You don't really need to. When you are coming after a stretched image, everything is just easier and doesn't require you to just go full bore on everything. So this is one of those processes. I'll just let it run in real time and show you just how long it takes on the Mac Mini. With GPU acceleration, with my 4070 Ti card downstairs on my Windows computer, it literally happens in like a second, but this is just showing you how well that Frank has everything tuned now. So we did the cosmic clarity just to basically take care of our stars and all that kind of stuff. Now we'll go ahead and remove our stars using Cycon, and we're just gonna unscreen those and everything because we've already done all that stuff. We'll click on process. All right, so our stars are stretched and everything is looking good. They are a little bit green. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just use the remove green because since we did the stretch, we didn't have to worry about that. And now you can see that all of our stars are looking pretty good. I also am probably going to just go ahead and get the stars all prepped and ready to go. And we'll be using his Halo Be Gone. And I've tested this out before and just found that like the low setting does a pretty good job. I'm just kind of looking at like this star right here. We go to like, you know, ultra low. You can see that, you know, we can just kind of firm them up a little bit. There's a big group of stars right here as well that, you know, really does a good job as far as just doing that. And we'll just go ahead and apply. And then that is done. And we can go ahead and just park our stars now, and they're parked up here. So here is our Starless image, and we'll go ahead and run a little bit of cosmic clarity denoise on it. Again, we'll just leave it at 50-50. We don't need to go super crazy because the image itself is not super noisy. When you're doing things after the fact, you're just go ahead and throwing all the noise in there. And by the way, I don't have much of a gradient here, so I'm not running any type of ABE, but don't run your gradient extraction stuff until after you've stretched either. Your data, I will do a video and just show you the comparisons. You can try doing it yourself and you will see the results are just much better. So that's what we're looking at right now. We will go into a quick curves editor, and I always need to select the image first. And what I'm going to do is just click down here, double click, and that is going to put a little point down there, and we're going to go right there, right in front of it, and then reset that. So I want to just try to get a little bit of contrast going in right here and just bring in a little bit of contrast to this area. So we pin down all of this stuff and we're just lifting right there. So we can apply that to the document. And if we want to make our darks a little bit darker, we can just pull this in slightly and apply to document, and that will give us, again, a little bit more contrast. So that is our image. Now at this point, I don't want these colors at all. So I'm going to open his pretty sweet narrowband normalization that he has done. First thing you have to do is switch this to HOO. It's smart enough to know that you're only running in 2 bands and you're running one-shot color. And then we are going to load the one-shot color image. And there is our first looking palette. If we want, go ahead and start playing with all of the different type of modes that are in here. And you'll see by switching the blend mode is what is going to give you the color palette that you're looking for. So I want to go with this like purpley red type of stuff just because I think the rosette just looks really cool like that. So we're going to bring up the 03 on that, and going to add a little bit more of the HA, and we might have to take some away to make it a little bit more inker or cyan. Yep, that looks good. So we will go ahead and push as the new view, and then we'll go up here and close that up. We can minimize this image right here and put it away. And so this is what we're looking at right now. And we probably need to clean that background up a little bit. You could do things like luminance masking and stuff, but I don't think we need to do that in this image right now. What we'll do again is just kind of bring this over and dim that background down a little bit. And then we will put a point down here and bring that the overall down, and another one, and then another one, and then lift and give ourselves a little bit more contrast to play with there. Looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some wave scale HDR, and we can look at the settings that's going on here. We can preview the base settings, and you can see we got a little bit of contrast there. Show original. I think that looks good. Don't want to overcook and overdo any of this, so we'll apply that to the document. And if we do the after and before, you can see how it just kind of toned everything down in there. Looking really good. At this point, we could probably do a little bit more of that stuff. So we can go into the dark scale enhancer and just kind of hit like these little areas right here. So we can preview that, and that just kind of darkened them up a little bit. Go ahead and apply that to the document as well. And from afar, you can see, kind of crisp those up, darken them up a little bit, and everything is looking pretty good. We'll go back into the curves editor and click inside of here, and we will add like a little bit of chroma in there, and that should just kind of like boost up those purples and stuff a little bit. That's kind of what we're getting. And we can apply that to the document. And then if we want to just add a little bit more saturation, we can just go ahead and do that as well. And now we've got a perfectly poppy image, all that kind of stuff. If you want to, you could run some more of the things like some texture and clarity. You can zoom in a little bit here and see what this is going to do. And it's up to you. It's all personal taste. You know, it really is just playing with contrast levels. We could just give it like a little bit on the amount, on texture and clarity, and it's just going to do a little bit more. Totally unnecessary, but that's what we're looking at right there. So we've got a freaking awesome looking nebula. I like the poppy overcooked colors. I think a lot of you guys that do my stuff know how I am. Now we're going to go into image combine. You can do this in layers. You can do this however you want to do. So we're going to be throwing our stars in here, and let's go ahead and check that out. And we'll probably do, let's try screen, because that's going to maintain all of our brightness. And then if you lower the opacity, that's going to play with the actual stars. You can do this multiple times too. So if you want to create an image and then go back in and try adding them both in together, you can do this in the layers panel as well. It's up to you. We're going to go ahead and click apply. And there we go. There is our main final image. You can do any kind of extra little things that you want to do to it. Everything is built in the SETI Astro Suite. So we can add diffraction spikes. We can go in here and we can say what's in my image. We can annotate. We can upload it to the Astro Catalog viewer. That is the great thing about SETI Astro Suite Pro, is it's not just fully featured and totally capable, but it's got all of this extra fun element to it too. And Frank has done a great job. Everything is working better than ever. It just keeps getting better with everything that he's done. Again, we just processed this no problem in real time, mind you, on a $500 Mac Mini. So nothing special here at all. This is about as cheap and as free as you can get if you want fully featured astro photography processing. Oh, and with a $350 C-Star S30. That's it, guys. Hope you appreciate all the video. Again, if I earned your, if you got value and everything out of this tutorial and video today, don't forget to drop a comment, like, or consider joining us as a channel member or a Buy Me a Coffee supporter. So we will talk to you guys later.